Eventually, they always tell on themselves. They always prove us right. We talk about female nature. We talk about what they do after they hit the wall. We talk about how they choose men, when they choose men, the timing. All of it we know in the red pill. All of it is planned. We know this because we've had lots of experience. Let's watch.
2022, we going for ugly dudes because at least they won't cheat and they funny as fuck.
Yes, my turn, assholes.
2022, we going for ugly dudes because at least they won't cheat and they funny as fuck.
Yes, my turn, assholes.
2022.
There you go. She admits it. 2022, we're going for ugly dudes. Because at least they won't cheat and they're funny as fuck. There you go. There you go. They admit that once they hit the wall, once they've been used up by Chad, now it's time to find the predictable beta. I've said this on my channel for at least the last 2 years. This is what they do, and they admit it. I've seen this happen so many times with so many different girls. Once they hit the wall, once they're done with their hoe phase, once they're done with their carousel phase, then it's time to settle down with the predictable beta. The guy who they know no other women want. The guy that they know is not out there chasing tail because he's controllable. He's easy to control and he's predictable. She knows what he's going to do. She doesn't have to worry about him cheating because she knows he can't get anyone else besides her. Women themselves have admitted, don't worry, nice guys. We'll get to you later. They've said this. There's a video out there of a woman saying this. She's like, don't worry, nice guys. We're just not ready for you yet, but we'll get to you later. Like, literally, she said exactly that. I can't find the video. I used to have it up on my channel like 5 years ago. But they themselves will admit this. They just don't say it often because they don't want us to know all their moves. But we know their moves in the red pill. We know their moves. They will get around to you when it's time to settle down. The nice guy, the predictable beta, the guy who's not that attractive, who's not out there pulling down conquest after conquest, right? He's the backup guy. He's the guy that they're going to settle down with when they're done chasing Chad, when they've got all their fun out, right? When they've sold their wild oats, now they're ready for the predictable beta to settle down with, provided that he is a provider, right? If he's not stable and doesn't make good money, she doesn't want you. Okay, so don't worry, nice guys. Don't worry, beta guys. Don't worry, ugly guys, less attractive guys. All you got to do is find a good job, be a stable guy, and then when she's done riding the cock carousel, she'll probably get around to you for settling down. And the funny thing is, these guys, a lot of these guys, particularly the white knight mentality guys, right? Which most of them are, because when you settle for used goods, you're a white knight. You're white knighting. You got a beta mentality, right? Don't settle for that 30-year-old, 35-year-old, used up, pardon my French, cum reg, right? Don't settle for her. Oh, because you can't get anyone else, right? Well, just be single, right? No, don't settle for that. Don't settle for no woman over age 25, really. But even that's too late. Don't settle for any woman over age 22. Why? Because you should want a woman who's young, fertile, and doesn't have many miles on her. Just like she wants a guy who won't cheat on her, who's faithful, right? Who is a good provider, a good father, right? She wants her cake and eat it too. Why should you let her? Why should you let her have her cake and eat it too? Right? Oh, don't worry, honey. These guys. And they're everywhere, man. I see them so much. These guys who are just laying down for these tyrant women because they can't get anything else, right? Don't worry, honey. Like this woman, like, is she even attractive? Look at her. She talks like she's from the streets. She got a pound of makeup on. Has no self-awareness. Doesn't know what morality, purity, character, any of those things are. Probably, right? and then she's all about herself. It's all of she and this is what these modern solipsistic women think. It's all about me and it's all about my choice. It's what I want. It's what I want. It's not what he wants. And then you got guys who are fighting for the spot, fighting each other over a spot that maybe she'll choose you. And it's while Chad and Tyrone out there just like, nah, tossing these women aside, banging them and chucking them, right? And she wants Chad. She wants the guy who doesn't want her naturally, because she doesn't want some weak simp who's going to let her do everything she wants until she's ready to settle down. Then if no other quality guy will give her an equal relationship, and she'll pretend like, oh, I'm pure. I read an article the other day about women who are lying about their lay count now. First, they tried to make us accept it. They tried to normalize it, right? First, they tried to be like, oh, woman's lay count doesn't matter. A woman's lay count doesn't matter, and they tried to normalize it in not only in the articles and the magazines, the feminist pages and whatnot, publications, right? The media. They tried to normalize it, and then when that didn't work, they tried to also do it in the culture too, right? They tried to argue, and they always try to argue. Which is funny. They like all of a sudden women trying to use logic, and they don't use it well, right? These feminists and these e-thoughts, these cam girls or whatever you want to call OnlyFans girls, right? Oh, why should my lay count matter? Why should my body count matter? Why, like, they try to normalize it, but that didn't work. It didn't work in the media, and now they're lying about it. Now they've changed their tactics. They're always changing their tactics. You'll notice it's funny. Women are always using tactics. They're always it's so funny. Always using these tactics. Oh, this tactic, that tactic. And they're always changing it. And really the easiest tactic out of all of them is exactly what we're talking about here. Settling down with an ugly dude. Settling down with a dude who can't get anyone else. That's the easiest tactic. Because it's like, yeah, and here's the thing, like, these guys aren't really ugly. Like, when a woman says ugly, what she really means is a guy who's like below an 8, right? And I would say not below a 5. Ugly to women is like a guy who's between a 5 and a 7. Like, oh yeah, he's okay, but he doesn't really turn me on that much, but he's not bad looking, right? That's ugly to a woman. Women will never really be with a straight up ugly guy, like a really ugly guy, unless she herself is just really not good looking either. And then there's a lot of women out, and there's a lot of people out there like that who are couples or in a relationship or whatever. But any woman who's attractive, she's not going to settle for a guy who's not attractive. So ugly to her means a different thing than actual ugly. Like, that means a different thing. It's not the same thing. So ugly to a woman who is actually attractive is really between like a 5 and a 7. Okay, guys above, women don't want to sleep with guys who are below an 8 or a 9. Those are the chads. Those are the guys who are getting all the women. And the guys from a 5 to a 7, they're nice and they get some looks, but they mostly get rejected. And guys below a 5, women just wish they didn't exist, and they don't even want to look at them. So it's a whole different metric, right? It's a whole different standard. So when women say, oh, we're settling for ugly guys, what they really mean are guys who are not Chad, who are not quite Chad, guys who are, decent looking, but not an 8 to a 10. Okay, so this is the new strategy. The new strategy is to the new tactic is to it's really not a new tactic, but they're just telling you what they do, and they eventually will tell you what they do. This, which is why TikTok and all these interview channels and YouTube is just poison for women, and they stupidly should have never. But it plays to their solipsism, plays to their ego. They have to get on there and talk. They just have to because they need attention, right? They need attention. It's how they, attention is a woman's gasoline. It's how they go. It's how they move, right? So they get on here and they tell secrets, and they confirm everything we've been saying in the red pill, which is that, again, once they hit the wall, once they're done with the carousel, they either get pregnant, become a single mom, or they get an STD, or they hit the wall, right? One of those three. Has to be one of those three, because otherwise they would just ride the cock carousel into the sunset. And some do. Some do. Some actually manage to not get an STD, not lose their looks. They hit the gym, they eat right. You'll see 40-year-old Tatianas out there. You'll see them. They're out there. 40, 50, they're out there. They're just rare because things happen, because women get pregnant, or she wants a baby. A lot of women want babies. It's kind of how a lot of women roll. They want a baby. So she'll either get pregnant, STD, or she'll, hit the wall. That's the story. Otherwise, they'll just ride the carousel into the sunset, or have one of these polyamorous relationships, right? Or try to cuckold a man, like Jada Smith, right? Anyway, they always eventually tell on themselves. It's funny, but it's sad. It's true. That's why you got to take the red pill, so that, oh, hey, what's this? I haven't been getting attention all my life, but all of a sudden this woman because she's a single mom and I have a steady job, now all of a sudden she wants to settle down with me. What do you think that is? You think it's because she has burning, passionate desire for you? Or do you think it's because she saw you as an opportunity? She saw you as a steady provider, a steady father for her child, or a steady father for her future children that she'll have with you. And guys think that that's somehow alpha. These white knight guys, they think that that's somehow like, oh, I'm a real man, because, again, tactics, right? They use these tactics. Oh, tell the beta white knight who's raising your child from another mother that he's a hero. Tell him a real man steps up, and he's not the father, but he's a real man, right? Tell him that, right? Lie to him. Their tactics always revolve around lying and manipulation. They can never, ever, ever just do the right thing from the beginning. Never. It's always lying and manipulation after the fact, right? They can't just be quality human beings from age 16 on or whatever, right? The time people start having sex is 16, 17. They can never just be a quality human being, even if they come from a good family, even if their parents raised them right with morals. It's too tempting. Corruption is just out there, right? They can never just be a good woman from day one, right? How many are like that, right? And if they are like that, we don't know about it because they get wifed up pretty early on, right? They get wifed up when they're 19, 20, and that's it. And I get that that's young, but, sorry, it's just a different metric. Women view men as success objects, and women view men as success objects, and men view women as sex objects. It just is what it is. And I'm not saying that that's really right. Men need to choose women for better reasons. For her personality, her character. But that has to do with her morals, right? That's tied in to the morals, right? You need to choose a woman with a quality character. You need to, she needs to be pure and have morality, right? So, they always operate with these tactics. It's always tactic, right? Oh, I gotta lie. And it always revolves around lying and manipulation, pulling the wool over guys' eyes, telling them falsities, diverting them away from their actual behavior, from their true motives, right? Dodging accountability, blame shifting. These are all tactics. This is why men need to take the red pill, so they can learn all about this stuff. So you don't end up settling down with a woman who's manipulating you, settling down with a woman who's choosing you only because you're a good provider, choosing you because she's done with that other lifestyle and you offer her a alternative. And I get it. It's a temptation for weak men. It's a temptation for weak men because you got nothing else going on. You're not getting any play. You're not getting any sex, right? You have no intimate relationship. Now here comes a woman who's past her prime or has a kid from another guy, and all of a sudden she's offering you intimacy, right? So essentially, a woman is exchanging intimacy and sexuality, and just closeness, right? Because men lack touch. Women, everybody wants to touch women, and women know this, and to the point where they're disgusted by touch. They don't want to be touched, right? Whereas men, nobody touches us, right? So a woman comes along and all of a sudden she touches you and she gives you intimacy, and it's this big thing because you don't have it. You start to simp. I've never felt this way about a girl before. Yeah, because women aren't clamoring to touch you because you're not a Chad, right? And so you get duped into this scenario where, like, oh, okay, this woman is, she wants me, and no one else wants me, and like, oh gosh, I guess, and she knows that. She knows no one else wants you. That's why she chose you. Because what did she just admit here? We're going for ugly guys so we don't get cheated on. We're going for ugly guys because they're steady, they're docile, they're predictable, right? I can control them, right? I don't have to worry about where they're going at night because I know no other girl wants them. I don't have to worry about, if he's cheating or not because I know he doesn't have game, right? Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, nice guys. She'll get around to you, right? Anyway, know their tactics, learn the red pill, be wary, and, if no one's touching you, then it is what it is. Like, no one's touching you. And one of the worst things I've seen is these guys who, they're kind of soulless. They know deep down that, the woman that they're with would not be with them if they weren't good providers, And I think most guys know it deep down, and a lot of times they just settle because they don't have anything better. They've never met a girl as pretty as that who's giving them the time of day. And I get it, I understand it, but it's better to be single than to be sorry, or it's better to be single than be a chump, right? It's better to be single than be wrapped around some woman's finger like Will Smith, right? It's better to be single and just gangster it out. Just solo it out, man. It is what it is, like, if you can't find a woman who's like 19, 20 and she loves you for you despite your money, then why even do it? Why, I hear a lot of these guys in the red pill even talking about, like, oh, I want a pure woman, but then you're going to go overseas and you're going to pay for her. Like, what are women, products? Like, maybe what I want doesn't exist. Maybe it's a unicorn, like the MGTOW guys talk about, right? I want a pure woman who's 19, 20, and she doesn't want me for my money. She just loves me for who I am. Maybe that doesn't exist. I don't know, right? But, I'm not going to go buy a woman who overseas. Like, that's almost as bad, right? Like, she's 19, 20 and she's pure, but literally she's just your little, like, slave. Like, you're buying her. Like, I've heard guys in the red pill talk about this, and it's just like, nah, bro, I'm good on that. I don't want to buy a woman. I want my woman to love me for me out of her pure will, and I want her also to be pure. She's not choosing me because she's settling. She's not choosing me because, she rode the cock carousel and she got dumped and hurt by Chad a million times, and now she's settling for me because she feels like I'm not going to go out on her and hurt her. Like, no, I don't want that either. I don't want any of that. Like, all of that is toxic. All of that is bad. Give me something normal. Give me something natural. Give me something that is mutual. And it ain't about manipulation. It ain't about settling. It ain't about, tactics because of this or tactics because of that, or like, forget about that. But anyway, good to take the red pill. Good to know these things. Appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.